Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how to alter the front basic bodice pattern into an outfit with an illusion yoke neckline with princess dart bustier. There will be a bustier beneath a transparent lace fabric, thus creating the illusion yoke effect. Hi, my name is Ayo and I'm reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you. So I have here the basic bodice pattern that I'll be working on. For this tutorial, I will alter just the front pattern. We need to take this additional measurement: shoulder to cleavage measurement 8 inches, around under bust 31.5 inches, bust shoulder to under bust 13 inches. So from this point to this point is my shoulder to under bust measurement, and it is 13 inches. So it is 13 inches as you can see. So this line is the under bust line. I write UB so as to demarcate it. The around under bust measurement is 31.5 inches. So I will divide the under bust measurement by 4. And this gave me 31.5 divided by 4, and this is 7.9 inches. So on the under bust line, starting from the center front, I will measure and mark the 7.9 inches. I will measure what I have left. So what I have left is 1.25 inches. I will now divide the 1.25 inches into 2 unequal halves. One will be 0.5 inch, while the other will be 0.75 inch. So on this side, I will measure half an inch from the dart leg and I will mark the point. From this other side, I will also measure 0.75 inch from the dart leg and I will also mark the point. I will now connect the points to the bust point. Then I will now connect them to the lower part of the dart. This is the armhole. Now we decide where I want the princess dart to start from on the armhole. There are 4 positions of the princess dart on the armhole, and they are 2 inches apart. So the princess dart can either start from this point, or this point. Mine will start from this point, and I will connect it to the bust point. From where the princess dart starts from, I will come down by half by 1 inch and I will mark the 1 inch point like this. I will now connect it to the bust point. I will extend the line by 1 inch, which is the amount by which we came down with. I come out by 1 inch. I will now redraw the armhole curve. I will draw the armhole curve for this lower part like this. I will get rid of these sharp points. I will curve it using my French curve like this. This outfit will have an inner bustier, and this is what we create the illusion yoke neckline. We will need the shoulder to cleavage measurement, which is 8 inches. So I will measure and mark 8 inches downwards like this. From the shoulder, I will measure 4 inches downwards and I will mark the point. I will square out the line a little like this, I will square out the point a little like this. Yes, on this lower part of this armhole, I will measure 2 inches upwards and I will mark the 2-inch point. I will make sure that this point matches up with the bust point. So I'm making sure of that using my ruler like this. I'll mark the point. I will now connect these 3 points together with a French curve. I will now alter the neckline. I want the shoulder to be just 2.5 inches wide, so I will measure and mark 2.5 inches on the shoulder like this. I will now redraw the neckline. So this is the new neckline, and this is the old neckline, and I won't be making use of it anymore. So for the inner bustier, it's made up of 2 pattern pieces. The first pattern piece, we start from this point upwards, all the way down to this point. The second pattern piece will start from this point all the way down to this point. For the outer part of the first pattern piece, I will start from this point all the way around like this. Down to this point. The second pattern piece, we start from this point all the way around like this, down to this point, down to this point. So for both the inner bustier and the outer part of the outfit, I will be getting rid of this lower dart and the upper narrow dart. So I'll be getting rid of these two darts. So now I'm done with the alteration of the front basic bodice block. I will now go ahead and transfer the inner bustier to another pattern paper using a tracing wheel. So now I've already done that, as you can see. I will now go ahead and cut it out. So these are the two pieces for the inner bustier. I will now go ahead and close the bust darts. I will now go ahead and cut out the two pattern pieces for the outer part of the outfit. So these are the two pattern pieces for the outer part of the outfit. I will now close the bust dart. So now I've cut all the pattern pieces on the fabric. This pattern piece is for the outer part of the outfit, which I cut on fold, and I added 1 inch allowance all through, except for the center front, which was cut on fold, so there was no seam allowance at the center front. I cut one piece on this transparent lace fabric. And I cut two pieces on the two nets. I'll be using them to line the outfit. So this is the second pattern pieces for the outer part of the outfit. I added half an inch seam allowance all through, except for the side seam where I used 1.5 inches seam allowance. So I cut out 4 pieces of this pattern on the two nets, which will be used as a lining. And then I cut 2 pieces on this transparent sugar lace fabric. So this is the inner bustier piece. I cut 2 pieces on the lining fabric, which has already been interfaced, as you can see. And I cut 2 pieces on the bridal satin. I used half an inch seam allowance all through, except for the side seams where I used 1.5 inches side seam allowance. So this is the other inner bustier piece, which I cut on fold. This is the lining piece, which has already been interfaced. This is the lining piece and it has already been interfaced. And I cut the other piece on a bridal satin. So these are the 2 pattern pieces for the outer part of the outfit. I will now separate the sugar lace from the 2 nets. I will separate the sugar lace fabric from the 2 net fabric. I will now go ahead and pin the sugar lace pieces together like this. After which I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I will do the same thing for the two pieces as well. So now I'll go ahead and do the stitching on my sewing machine using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now that has been done, I'll stick the pieces together. As you can see, I trimmed off all the seam allowances to about 1/4 inch so that it will be barely visible beneath the outfit. Remember that we are working with sheer lace fabric here. So now I will place the lace fabric like this with the right side facing up. I will now place one of the two net pieces on top like this. I will place the two net pieces on top like this. Right sides will be together. Right side of the two net is facing the right side of the lace fabric. I will now place the other two net piece underneath it like this. This time around, the right side of the two net is facing the wrong side of the sugar lace fabric. I will now pin the pieces together at the neckline like this. And I will stitch using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now that has been done. As you can see, I will now trim off the seam allowance at the neckline to about 1/4 inch so that the seam allowance will not be visible when the outfit is turned to the right side. So I will now flip over these two nets so that the right side of the two nets is now visible. So as you can see, the seam allowance at the neckline is barely visible on the right side. Likewise, the seam allowances of the princess lines, which are also concealed. So these are the bustier pieces. I will now go ahead and separate the lining pieces and the bridal satin pieces. I will pin the bridal satin pieces together like this. I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I will do the same thing for the lining pieces as well. So now that has been done, as you can see. I will be fixing these breast cup pieces on the bustier. Now I've stitched the upper part of the bustier, but I left the side seam allowances open on both sides. So this is the wrong side. I notched the seam allowances. As you can see. I now understitch the seam allowances to the lining. I will now fix the cup to the lining. But first, I will locate the bust point on the bustier, and then I will match it up with the bust point of the breast cup. I will pin in place first. Then I will unstick the breast cup to the lining piece using a needle and thread. So this is the final look after fixing the breast cup. So these are the back pieces for the wedding dress that I'm making. I have a tutorial on my channel on how I achieved this. Its link will be above and in the description box below. I will now place this front piece on top of it like this. Right sides will be together. I will now pin the front and the back shoulder lines together like this. I will open up the shoulder lines like this, and I will pin lace to lace and tulle to tulle. I will be sewing lace to lace and tulle to tulle, as in fabric to fabric and lining to lining. The lining in this case is the tulle net. After pinning in place, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now that has been done, as you can see. I trimmed the 1/2 inch sewing allowance to about 1/4 inch so that the seam allowances will be concealed on the right side of the outfit. So this is the bustier piece, which will be placed underneath the outer front piece like this. I will pin just the bridal satin of the bustier to the outer front piece like this. After pinning, I will then take it to my sewing machine and stitch in place. By doing this, the lining will be separate from the main fabric. So now I've done that. As you you can see, the lining and main fabric are not together, they are both separate, and that's the effect we want to achieve. So now I will go ahead and stitch the side seams of both the back and the front pieces together using 1.5 inches sewing allowance, which was the sewing allowance which I used when cutting out the fabric. I will be pinning fabric to fabric and lining to lining with the right sides facing each other. By doing it this way, both the fabric and the lining pieces will be separate, they won't be together. So now I've done that, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, the seam allowances are not visible at all. They have been needed inside the outfit, and both the lining pieces and the main fabric pieces are separate, they are not together. So that's it guys, we are done. Do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in my next tutorial. Bye and thank you for watching.